I don't usually film from bus stops, but I've got a bit of the purpose of this video is not about buses, by the way, but the bus is important to get me to where I need to go. So yeah, my car, I drive a BMW 2 Series, and it's, on the whole, actually quite reliable, but there's a little bit of an issue with it, with my slave and master cylinders on my clutch, which therefore means that I don't feel particularly comfortable driving it along the motorway any sort of distance. I've done some local drives around town, and maybe a little bit of the motorway just to get home, but with the clutch having the issues it is, I thought actually it'd be safer to try to avoid use of my car where I can absolutely avoid it, which for the most part means using a bus. But today I actually need to go to Costco to get some protein bars and a few other bits that are usually cheaper to buy in bulk. Now, you can't really get a bus to Costco and go and buy a load of stuff and then lug it all home. It's not really very practical, and it's in Southampton, which is about 10 to 15 miles down the road. So we're going to try something a little bit different. Now, there is the Enterprise Car Club, which I've heard about a few times from colleagues and people that have used it. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go. So I've got a reservation. Starts at 6:30, and yeah, we'll see what it's all about. Oh, I don't see any damage. Well, it's not the cleanest in here, but that's usually normal in these types of cars from experience. Right, so that's us in. As we say, with these car club cars now, I actually have used the Enterprise car club before, although not as a personal renter, actually just more as actually more under a corporate rental. But yeah, sometimes you do find there are often bits of stones and stuff on the floor, but that's pretty normal, although my car's a lot cleaner than that usually. So you are supposed to have like a damage card that you're supposed to go around and have a look at. Well, I couldn't actually find that, so it's mainly just checking there's no big dents or anything like that. It seems to be the main thing that you need to do there. So that all looks okay. Got the lights on now, that's good, that all works. So yeah, we'll get started and we'll head on down to Southampton. I've gone for an automatic. I usually drive a manual, but with my left knee the way it is, I thought, well, I'll just go for the automatic. Should be a bit easier to on that knee, although it's actually not as bad today as it usually is. Boom, Costco, we're here. So I couldn't actually film me driving for obvious reasons. There isn't really a place I can put my phone unless I stick it maybe there, so I might be able to do that on the way out for a little bit. But yeah, it took me a lot longer to get here than I thought, because there's a lot of traffic lights that seem to be working against me, but we're here, Costco, about a quarter of a tank left, so we're probably gonna have to go and fill this up before we take it back. It's all about mine, but anyway, let's go into Costco and get some protein bars. Trusty old grenade bars, especially the Oreo ones, always a good shout. And they are usually saying that's usually cheaper than you can get them online or even in supermarkets, so that's why I come here. Literally do seem to be booming here with all the nutrition stuff, like literally like lots of pre-workout there you can buy for creatine. Packs of fuel, so yeah, literally got it all. You can get the old Vinto collagen powder. Again, end up usually spending too much here, so I won't be too tempted by that. Cool. Grenade bars, my protein brownies. Not very good for you, but does help get the protein numbers up. Stock full of tea bags. stock my coffee beans because I do drink way too much coffee. So I've got to get some more of those as well. Back here we get. Oh, into my trusty Citron. I think this is a C3, I think it is. And it's been alright, it's been fun. So yeah, we're gonna probably head back towards home. I'll go and unload all of that, and then I need to get to the gym, and then we need to fill this up with fuel, and then on the way home from the gym we'll drop the car back off at the it's the same car park we picked it up from. Right, I'm in my trusty gym gear, as you can see. Now I need to go and fill this up, so there should be a fuel card in here. So you've got the little device there where the key goes into, which is currently in my pocket, and there should be a fuel card in there, which is going to be that. So, right, that is us fueled up and good to go. So, fuel card process, a little bit of the it's fairly straightforward. Usually it's just when they ask you for the mileage, you're like, no idea what it is off the top of my head. I did say 29,000 something. It wasn't too far off, although the number on the receipt's different, so hopefully they don't moan about that too much. Right, so we're going to get to the gym. So let's say press brake and start. I'm definitely doing. There we go. It's weird because I'm definitely pressing the brake in. It seems to you have to press it particularly hard for it to pick up that you're doing it. Right, into drive, release the brake, and into the gym we go. So yeah, what do I think so far? I mean, it's been quite, you know, overall a lot of the processes are quite streamlined, and I think, you know, it is targeted towards those kind of short drives that you're doing in the car. Yeah, that's good. The process is pretty straightforward. I think what does probably bug me a little bit sometimes is the sometimes the floor's not quite as clean as it could be, and I think that's maybe just me, maybe a little bit of OCD. I'm not actually diagnosed with it, but I find messy cars do tend to give me a little bit of anxiety, shall I say. It's not too bad. I think it's more just stones on the floor really than anything. You know, but I'd probably moan about anybody who's got mess in their car, but a few stones. I suppose, you know, a vacuum wouldn't hurt, just to go in and get rid of the stones, but I'm sure they do that semi-frequently in these cars. So that's the only real observation, but otherwise everything else is pretty straightforward. You know, the app's good. The whole process of getting the keys out and getting to where you need to be is pretty good. And yeah, I think as you say, if you just need to borrow that car for a couple of hours, it's a very streamlined process to get hold of it. And you know, the car itself has actually been quite good to drive. And as you say, I suppose it being automatic, I mean, you can get manual cars as well, but just being automatic has been quite a nice change for me with my funny knee that hasn't been right, shall I say. So that's been quite good as well. Park. Get a very different. It's easier, but it is a bit of getting used to compared to driving a manual. That's what I do find. Although I have driven automatics a few times for work, and even actually once in the States. Although I drove a Mustang when I was in San Francisco, which was good fun. Much bigger engine, much noisier. But yeah, nice change. So that's us at the gym. So we're going to go and do a workout, and then we're going to drop the car back, and then I'll show you the return process, and then we'll sum up the experience. And would I recommend it? This is all reversed, parked, and I'm going to turn the engine off the last time. And there we go. So what you're supposed to do is you grab the key, and that's supposed to go back into the glove box there. There's like a little holder there, so that's where the fuel card is. And I believe the actual key's got to go back in there as well. Like that. And then that should be good to go. And you can then simply get out of the car, and then you press the lock button on the Enterprise app. So I'm now going to get out. Car's all nicely parked in the car return. Oh no, C4, not C3. Job done. We can now leave the car and, well, I'm going to go and catch the bus home. And yeah, it's as easy as that. So what was my overall opinion of the Enterprise Car Club? And I'm filming this last clip a couple of weeks later just to reflect on it, and also because I have my own car back now. So I think the three main pros I see is easy to book, relatively little fuss. You literally just take it all via the app, and you go and pick it up a couple of hours later. That's all pretty straightforward. I think secondly, it's really efficient as well. The whole process by which, if you need to go and get fuel in, I think the whole process with a fuel card is pretty straightforward as well. And that's a lot easier than having to go and submit receipts and things, although that is actually an option that you can do if you need to. Or there's a problem with the fuel card, you can still do that. But it's pretty straightforward to do. And as you say, that took me like a 2-minute job just to quickly go and do that. And number three is that the prices are generally quite clear in terms of how what you're going to be charged and when, and there is a defined hourly rate for some of the shorter rentals, and then if you go over a certain number of hours, it correlates more to a cost cap per day. So I think for me it was about £40 a day. You then get capped at that, and that's what you pay for like a day rate at that point. So pretty clear, simple, straightforward, and then you have a per mileage rate as well that you pay, and that's kind of what covers the cost of your fuel, wear on the car, road fund license is the term they use on the invoice as well. So yeah, that's all pretty straightforward. What are the main downsides to it? Again, I think if you're looking for a longer rental, that's where perhaps you might get a better deal if you actually just go through the conventional process. But certainly for the short trips here and there, and that's kind of what the point of the car club is, it's pretty reasonably priced. Number two, now this is maybe me, but cleanliness is a big one for me, and I don't think it's something that would bother the vast majority of people. I mean, I've been in cars that have been a lot messier than that, and probably make comments about it. But I suppose because I'm comparing it to my own standards, that my grandparents probably passed down to me, and I'm used to having a really clean car with no mess in it at all. I get in it and I'm like, oh god, there's a load of mess here, and there was like a little wrapper of I think it was like a Biscoff wrapper that was left in there that I kind of ended up just putting in the bin myself because it was annoying me. So that's something that maybe could be better, but I presume they can't control if who's using the car and who's tidy or not tidy in it. So it's just something to bear in mind. I mean, if you were hiring a car conventionally, you'd usually have a pristinely clean car. So just something to bear in mind there. And number three, I think overall, sometimes it can be a little bit unclear what you should do and when, and I think the app I find could be a little bit buggy at times. I mean, so when I actually went to return the car, you actually go on there and click on end rental, but I was stuck on a bit of a spinning wheel for a while, and I think the app was gone. I don't know whether it had gone a little bit buggy or whether there was an issue with talking to the server or whatever it was. But I stood there for about 5 minutes trying to get it to work at the point of return. So I put the key into the box there, but I was just getting some weird loading timeout, and it started working in the end. But maybe that's just something to look into. I mean, especially if you're in a bit of a rush, maybe you just borrow the car for an hour and you need to get back to work. You probably don't want to be faffing about trying to return it. And what happens if you go over your time? Maybe you'll feel right at the end there, and because you're struggling to get the app to work, do you get penalised for that? Or is there some sort of goodwill to allow you to check it back in? So that's the only 3 positives, 3 negatives that I've observed. So how much did it cost me for that few hours? So I got charged in total there about £45.60 for that few hours again. So I would have probably paid a bit less had I not driven all the way down to Southampton and not taken the insurance excess, because bear in mind some people probably just using these cars to go shopping, whereas I was going a bit of a trip down the motorway there for that car. So yeah, that was the cost of it. And to sum it up, is it a good idea? Yeah, I think if you need a car short term, just for a quick trip to go and get your shopping, definitely a good use for that. I think if you're going on a longer drive, or you've got a slightly longer rental, then that's maybe where the more conventional route of a traditional rental may be better. You'll probably get better prices and a better deal, and I suspect there's probably offers that come out from time to time there as well. But certainly for the short trips and maybe 10-15 miles, just to do shopping around town, you know, those situations where you really just need a car, then that can be a really good idea. But yeah, that's my experience of the Enterprise Car Club, using it for the first time, and yeah, it definitely got me out of a bit of a situation there when I needed it. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and yeah, any questions, just pop them in the comments, and I will answer them as soon as I can. Bye for now.